I am so excited to chat with all of you about what episode is this?
9.
9. Well, episode 9 of Australian Survivor Redemption. A lot happened this episode. And I'm just going to say it kind of annoyed me. This episode kind of annoyed me a bit, but I also loved it. It was messy. It was very messy. And Tez.
Not just Tez. Simon.
Thank you.
I don't know what the name of this episode is, but it should be called Simon's Big Mistakes.
Whoa, plural.
Love you, Simon.
Ollie, did you feel as similarly?
Well, as far as I was aware, no one on my draft messed up, so I felt quite good about this episode. But you are right. This was messy in like the best way. There were parts, Simon, that I was like, what are you doing? But overall, it was still a good episode for me. I enjoyed it.
All right, well, let's get into the episode. As you all know from the last time, Tribal Council and everything leading up to it did not go great for Tez. And we see Tez try to... I don't know what Tez was trying to do. And I know he explains it in his confessional, but I'm still confused because right now he's just, again, half blowing up people's games and half not.
He was trying to let them know, like,
who?
Richard? I don't know.
Do you know what it was? It was a half-baked instruction. Like, he basically kind of said, like, Caleb, I was told to vote for you. Richard, I was told to vote for you, but I'm not going to tell you who did that because I don't want to annoy them. But I've already annoyed them by mentioning that this was the thing. Yeah. Half-baked.
I think that's sort of been Tez's problem since last episode, maybe leading up to that. But from what we saw last episode, this like fear of committing to something. And we do see in confessionals that Tez is going in with the idea of, I am going to play dumb. All I got to do is keep playing dumb. And again, I'm like, what is the objective? Why? Why are you playing dumb? Other than having some sort of control over your narrative? Like, that's the only thing I can think about, which is this didn't go in my favor. So I'm just kind of going to go with it, which I'm like, okay, but change it.
It was almost like he was trying to underestimate. He was trying to make people underestimate him. But then in doing so, he wasn't thinking, right, how do I then like make people, like, how do I get them people on my side? I do feel like if he had the conversation that he had after the tribal, if he had that separately with Rich and with Caleb, it would have been a lot more effective than just talking everyone, because we like you could tell Keely did not care about a single thing that Tez was saying in this scene. You could just tell she did not believe a single thing he said.
Yeah, I mean, I understand like where he's coming from with like being underestimated, like maybe they won't want to vote me out, whatever. But like also, what else is he supposed to do? Like at this point with who's left on the tribe, like he really can't do much.
But not this, in my opinion. You know, I think Ollie, I enjoyed your point of this would have been a great time to especially pull Rich aside, who was just blindsided. Lyndall was just voted out. And be like, all right, are you seeing what I'm seeing now? Like, we missed our chance also. I think that's what's also frustrating is that the two of them missed their opportunity because they did talk about it or tried to talk about it with each other. It was so weird. That, it just, I wish we saw some of Rich's perspective too, because I feel bad because Tez is so prominent in the edit that it makes it seem like he's not playing well, which, I mean, he's not. But also, like, I don't particularly think that Rich is playing well right now, and we don't hear from him as much.
Yeah. I feel like if he was able to look at it from the perspective of Rich, like, obviously Rich you weren't included in this vote. But then also go to Caleb and be like, I've been told your name multiple times now. So clearly you are a decoy. So what what does that say about your position? Clearly you're higher than me, but after I go, could it be you next? After me and Rich go, who is it gonna be? Like that's the vibe I'm getting from it. And I just wish that was kind of shown, but we only get shown an hour and a half. Like it could have, for all we know, but we
I
also
do,
don't.
I do think it's important to point out that in the minds of Caleb and Rich, they both believe that they have something solid with Mark.
Mm,
Rich should be on shaky ground because of this whole
mm,
Wendell thing. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Caleb, I kind of get it because of he and Mark were both blindsided together. We're both blindside, yeah, together
mhm,
with the Dawn vote. So I can kind of see where Caleb feels very secure with Mark, even if the decoy thing, maybe he's not picking up on that.
mhm,
Yeah, I mean, the time to bring up anything to Rich was during the last tribal when Tez got the signal. That would have been the time to talk to Rich, whisper to him, then Rich talk to Lyndall, and then that's when they do something. But obviously now it's too late. Like no one wanted to work with them. Like they had no one to work with. Like Rich and Tez couldn't do anything, just the two of them at that tribal. Lyndall wasn't really giving them anything that she
Yeah.
was going to work with them. So they really had nowhere to go. They couldn't do anything. They still can't do anything. So it's like just trying to survive.
I think that's the sign of a good blind side. You know, I gotta
mm,
give credit where credit is due. Um, because I did get to talk to Lyndall also. That video should be out now that this is out. And we didn't really get to actually talk about not working with Tez, but at the same time, I completely understand the fact that she and Rich felt so good with Mark. So, you know, it was just a good all around blindside. And what did you all think of well, Ollie, I'll ask you. You seem to really enjoy this little Easter egg with the three wise women.
I did love that Easter egg where Keely goes, "So wise. What a wise woman, Sally." I was just like, you could tell she was saying that. You could just feel like her, like the sneakiness of being like, Tez has no idea.
Yeah.
I did like that.
Wink, wink. And then we have a fun conversation with Keely and Faith. Now, before we started recording, Kara, I know that you were about to go off on these two in terms of your confusion about their relationship, right?
Yeah. I don't understand. I feel like we're like missing something. Like we're not being shown something with Mark, I guess, and the two of them because I do not understand how they keep saying like, "Oh, any relationship we have, like that's not good for Mark." But like what? Sally? Is that it? Like who else? We never see them talk
Potentially
to anyone
Ben.
else.
Ben, yeah, remember?
Yeah, true, true. I don't know. The whole thing just seems so weird to me. The three of them, it just doesn't make sense. Even the fact that this has nothing to do with this picture, but like the fact that Mark doesn't even seem to care that Dawn is gone and they just blindsided him and he's like still completely loyal to them. It doesn't even seem like he has a clue that consider they might be considering voting him out, you know? Like I don't understand. I don't understand the two of them. I don't understand Mark. I
That
need
part I sort of
more
understand. With the
clarity.
whole Don thing, I think Mark is a good enough player to know that he can't harp on that. You know,
Mhm.
Don's alive.
Yeah,
Don's
well, you
alive.
know what?
He's
He
not
doesn't have to
dead.
harp on it, but, like, I feel like he should be seeing some red flags from it.
I feel like Mark treated that as like a negotiation. You
Mm.
know, yes, he was bamboozled. Yes, it was by these two. And yes, I agree with you, Kara. He should be weary. And we're not seeing him saying that he's weary in his confessionals. I mean, here these two are plotting against him, saying we might have the numbers to do it this time.
Mhm.
But I think that Mark may have realized, I'm gonna give him some credit. I think he may have realized that he was controlling too much. And I'm sure that the three of them had a discussion of like, okay, we each got one. Mark was like, we each got one. We're even. And they're like, yeah, you owe us 3 more. But Keely and Faith, I feel like they're waiting for the right time. I actually respect that they're keeping Mark around a little bit more, because if they get rid of him, it's just the next head on the dragon that's going to grow, and it's going to be Keely's.
Yeah, and I will say I do feel like it's more so Faith that is kind of keeping it, because it was
Mhm.
Keely that was like, "We've got the votes to get out Mark," and Faith was straight away like, "I need to sit on this." Like we kind of need to know when the time is right. Um, but also, Cara, just to go back on what you said about Don, don't worry, because his ghost will be haunting Mark in the jungle anyway. So we'll
So
we'll
true.
see we'll see Don there. It's fine.
So true. But I actually feel like Keely or Faith are going to be voted out before Mark. So that was it.
I think it should be.
Between the two of them, do you think one is going before the other?
I mean, it seems like everyone thinks that Faith is kind of in charge of the trio alliance. So maybe Faith, but I don't know why no one's really picking up on the Keely of it all.
Well, we do know for a fact that the other tribe is not happy with what they saw at the last immunity challenge with the, they did see the other tribe put on an act, right? But that had some serious consequences
Mm.
with how this tribe now views, especially Caleb, uh, everyone, Mark, right?
Mhm.
Everyone who dressed
Mhm.
up in other people's clothing. I That was a really poor strategic social move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
God, yeah.
Richard is like the best actor ever.
I guess
Like
so.
he got them fooled. Like it's so funny.
I,
But
I,
it's crazy how like personal they're taking like the wearing of the clothes and everything when it kind of just comes off as like a silly thing.
that's what I thought too, Kara. When they did it, I was like, all right, it's a little strong, but even Brooke, we spoke about it, how Brooke was like,
Mhm.
they're joking.
Mm.
But listen, I think that when you're playing with first time players, and when first time players are playing with seasoned players, um, there may be a difference with how people are looking at the game. More seasoned players might come up to it being like, been there, done that, I'm ready to have fun, and make good TV. Whereas, for newer players, I can see why this feels a little bit more personal and a little bit more life or death. The stakes feel high.
Yeah.
I just feel like if I got voted out and then you wear my stuff, I will feel petty about it. But that's just because you won't wear it better than me. But that's my only takeaway on it.
People have been doing that for years. I think it's more so the
Yeah.
fact that they made a spectacle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's chat about this group here, this tribe, while we're with them, because Asha, Cameron, Lottie, we know that they want Brooke out, and they introduced that plan to this group, right?
Hmm.
I'm actually very surprised that Simon is here during this discussion.
Really? But isn't
Like,
Simon like Lottie's little puppy dog?
tell me more.
Well, that's what she's like. He even said it in like a thing like episodes
Yeah.
ago. He was like, "I could be a good lapdog for you," and like we saw them building something. So I feel like the surprise is Loz, because obviously Loz was kind of more so on the outs, but they brought her in because obviously majority bounty OG.
I guess that makes sense. To me, it's like, why are we including a former player on the blind side of a former player?
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I feel like they don't even count Simon as a returning player.
Oh no.
Like, not in, like, a mean way, sorry, I didn't mean that in, like, a mean way, but I feel like they, um I don't know, I feel like they're more, like, open with Simon than they are with any of the other ones about, like, anything, and he seems more, like, I don't know, easygoing maybe? I don't know, something about Simon feels different
Hmm.
with how they work with him versus the other returning players.
His perception has never been that he's the strategic person. So I think that is also coming into it. Like they don't, they
They're
think they
underestimating
can.
him.
Yeah, a little bit of like underestimating him strategically.
Which is great for him. That is
Yeah.
such a great, if you're coming as a returning player to a season like this, you can totally use that in your favor.
Mhm.
Debatable if that's what's happening with Simon. But, he does take this opportunity to talk to Jackson and is, after this conversation and is like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of thinking Asha's sort of running things. Ollie, I know that you are disappointed in that take because
Mhm.
you said that other people were also speaking up about a Brooke blindside. Care to elaborate?
Well, yeah, because in this discussion, I feel like I need to educate the men that were in that conversation a bit more. But it was actually Cameron that started speaking first and elaborating on the plan. But yeah, go for Asha. We love her. We stan her. Don't come for my mother.
She's a great player. She's a
She
great
is.
player.
She's a great player.
But they end up forming this Beauty and the Beast alliance, which is cute. I would have
Mhm.
loved to have seen them actually go to tribal to see how this all played out. But we got the last episode definitely felt like a to be continued compared to what we
Mhm.
see here,
Mhm. I
Mhm.
love this alliance.
It's pretty great.
Nah.
Oh,
Why? Oh, because Asha's not
what's
in
wrong
Because
it.
with it?
Asha's not in it.
Oh, well, I think it's great. I think it's fun.
I
It's very
mean,
exciting to see it come together.
to be fair, Brooke and Loz are there, so I'm loving that. I love seeing Loz included.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we haven't gotten to see Laws actually during my Lindell interview. She even reminded me like Laws has not had a confessional in a
In
really long
ages.
like
Mhm.
yeah, she may have not even had an official confessional. I know she had did she I know she had
I
her like
think she
background
has.
package. Okay. But
Yeah, I
still,
think she does.
we do not hear from her. And that's a shame. Um and actually, speaking of the Lindell interview, she said that a big reason why some of her moves might not make sense to us is because of how close she was to Laws and trying to
Mm.
keep Laws safe. The Eliza vote. So anyway,
Right, right,
just a
right,
little
right.
hint as to what she and I spoke about. So this alliance, great, but we go to the immunity challenge next, where we find out that it is a double immunity, individual immunity win, which I thought was hilarious that they all had to pretend to be shocked because it was like under this giant tarp.
Yeah. I
But
know. What
yes,
possibly could this be?
it did feel a little anticlimactic since we've already seen the necklace.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
Fun
But
twist.
this is we find out that both tribes are going to tribal council. We don't know in what capacity yet, but Mark is doing a great job at getting information. First, he's chatting with Ben and he finds out Ben does tell him Asha is leading, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He openly throws out Asha's name to
Yeah, he
Mark.
said she can't win immunity.
She can't win immunity. He lets Faith know, don't let her win immunity. He also, during the challenge itself, talks to Jackson and kind of gets confirmation that that's what's up. It would
Mhm.
have been so interesting if he like got paired up with Cameron or someone and tried doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would have been good.
Because we didn't see if Ben told him the alliance. We just we all we knew was that Ben had said like we don't want Asha to win. That
Yeah.
would have been funny. Like imagine if he got paired with Asha.
Well, the
Oh,
fact that Asha and Lottie were the 2 that got to sit out of the challenge was
Rude.
also, like,
let's talk about that.
crazy.
Kara, I'm so glad you brought that up because I forgot. I thought that was such a poor production and like game
Yeah.
mistake. That
Mhm.
type of thing doesn't make me feel good because I would like reward challenge, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Some people have to sit out. Immunity, to because it's left up to a rock draw because you don't have enough stations. And I get
Mhm.
they didn't want two people from the same tribe to win, but who cares? If because we saw Rich get immunity at the
Yeah,
thing. So like I
it
don't
wasn't
We'll talk
understand.
about
fair.
that. We'll talk about that. But yeah, if the fact is, if Lottie or Usher did go out this episode, it would be so unfair. And I would have been calling the production team very mean names. We love you, really,
Oh, I
Channel
thought you
10.
meant like
But
call them on the phone.
I mean, I'll call them. I'll find their numbers. But like it is unfair because like I
Yeah.
know if I was in that situation and then I find out I get voted out and then find out like that lot were really happy you didn't win immunity. I would feel some type of way. I would feel like dogged and like not happy about it.
Yeah, especially for potential double tribal. Like you're just gonna have two people that don't even get to try and win. I feel like there
Yeah.
had to be a challenge they could have done because they knew who was left and what tribes were losing people.
Or
Exactly.
just add another
Just add, yeah.
Station.
thing. I don't know. It was
Maybe
weird.
they have to do it alone or something.
Do it alone. Yeah, maybe slight disadvantage. Maybe the tribes vote on who has to do that, or I don't know. But I found that so strange. What did y'all think about like the actual drawing rocks to find a partner?
I did like that.
Yeah, I did
Just
not
because
hate that.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was cute. The only thing I
Cute.
didn't like, yeah, like it was a cute little way to do it. The only thing I didn't really like, actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm taking it back because now I'm looking at it, and it looks like they do have the little stands. I was gonna say I didn't think it was even with the
Oh
standing
no,
for
it
everyone to
was.
reach, but I see the bottom now looking at
No,
this
yeah, they
picture
all were
that they
put at the
are.
same height, which was great.
Yeah.
Do I like the challenge as a duo challenge? I don't. I think it was
Mm.
interesting. Like I did like when I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Simon and Faith that they were taking turns bearing all of the weight.
Yeah, that was Simon and
Mm.
Faith.
Super clever.
Mm.
But otherwise, when it comes to like the hold your hand above your head challenges, I don't want to. If I was there, I wouldn't want to rely on someone else for this.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
true. I like that they got to talk though.
That was fun. That was fun. And like I said,
Mm.
would have been even more fun if things got exposed and blown up a little bit. But we did
Mhm.
see it come down to Rich and
Brooke.
Brooke. Jeez.
Brooke.
Oh
Mhm.
man.
This
I
was
would
the
have loved
first mistake.
Rich and Brooke, and then also Simon and Faith. And we
Mhm.
see Rich, you know what? Good for him. Really just being like, Simon, give this to me. I thought that was great. I agree that Simon shouldn't have thrown it. I think
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I agree. Maybe I disagree. No, I think that Simon should not have thrown it at that moment. Kara, you
Mm-hmm.
seem to
So
have
he
a
did the right thing, you're saying?
yes.
Well, okay, fine. I guess I'll take this back as a mistake, but I feel like it would have been I don't know. I feel like it would have been a nice thing if he did throw it to Brooke and Richard because those are the two people that, you know, he's trying to protect. And like same with Mark, like they had this whole conversation. And then, you know,
Yeah, but I think I get what Matthew's saying in the sense of like I do think it was smart of him not to throw it
yeah,
because he is then kind of showing his hand, and in the sense of like Richard's tried to make it seem like he hasn't got that many allies over on like
true.
Baron
Well, he just
2.0.
doesn't. So
Okay,
No.
we'll let it
So
slide. I'll let this one slide.
I
Simon can
just
have this.
I do feel like this wasn't a bad thing for Simon not to do.
I also think that once you are put on the spot like that and someone is like, please, please give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. If you do drop, even if you didn't mean to, people are always going to wonder, did you throw it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that
Okay,
was
we'll let
that.
it slide.
Simon and Faith win so strong. Also, it didn't end up mattering that Simon won immunity, but we'll talk
Yeah.
about that when we get there.
Mm-hmm.
So we get back to camps and we'll talk about the strategy a little bit. To be honest, I forget a lot of what happened at this tribe because it didn't have anything to do with what happens at tribal council. But here I want to point out, and Ollie, I think you were just about to say this, Simon, this is the first mistake, Kara, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know what? Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. This is the first mistake for Simon.
Simon, in front of everyone, says, Jackson, can you and I speak privately? And goes off. I didn't understand why. And also hearing the conversation, I still was like,
It
okay.
still made no sense. It like that could have been an after
Yeah.
conversation. I this was such a big blunder for Simon, because again he kind of exposes the fact that him and Jackson have been able to have conversations that clearly he wants him and Jackson to have talk about first. And if you're still trying to make the facade that like you're still with these people you want to vote off, why make them sus about you? Like, no, it was bad.
I, Simon in his first couple of seasons played very hard. And you know what? If it didn't work out for him, what I can give him is he tried. And I do feel a sort of hesitancy for him to, um, it's like, something, it's not as bad as like Tez, who is just not committing at all. But I do feel that there's some sort of a hesitancy with Simon when it comes to the strategy. It feels like he's fighting against how he naturally wants to play it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's just so hung up on his relationship with Lottie that it's restricting him. When that one, I feel like that relationship isn't really even serving him.
I agree. I agree with that. And I think everyone else, this was I thought this was a different photo, but they're confused about why Jackson got pulled aside privately. And again, it's just taking a bunch of suspicion onto
Yeah.
Simon. But
Yeah.
this is where I thought we were sort of going, because these three are confused about what that was. Asha straight up asks Simon, what'd you talk to Jackson about? Why'd you want to talk privately? And oh man, Simon, you struggled, bud. This was one of those things where I could tell that like halfway through whatever lie he was coming up with, you could tell that at some point he was like, "Oh, that's good. I'll just go with that." And like kind of like got more and more confident with what he was saying as it went on. But by that point, it felt too late.
I've seen 5-year-olds lie better than this. Like, I'm so sorry. It was bad. Like, Simon, love you to pieces. So sorry. But after about 5 seconds, I would not have believed a single thing he said, because it was, well, yeah, Blanche. And it's like, like, it just, he didn't sound confident. And even when he figured out what he wanted to say, because there was no confidence to begin with. It's like, you can't, like, if you're just going to sit there and believe it, it's like you're then the fool. It's not Simon. So I do give Asher a lot of credit for calling it out and clocking Simon, because yeah, Simon did. There was no subtlety there, shall we say?
Question
Mhm.
TBD, as the audience, are we supposed to know that Asha knew he was lying? Because all I remember was the confessionals afterwards. It was really from Lottie being like, the only thing she commented on was, no, we're not going to negotiate who gets voted off, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they believed him, but in the
No.
context of the episode, they're like, believing that was that. I don't know.
Mm.
I think they were just waiting to see what would then happen, because again, it was this whole negotiation thing, and it's like, you number one have to get your entire tribe to agree with the negotiations, and if half the tribe are not agreeing to it, you then can't pretend like it's still a thing. Like, I think that was my kind of issue. But
But
yeah,
I
just
wouldn't
go
have
for
had
it.
a problem with it. I think where he started going was okay, because the way I heard it was,
Mhm.
he wanted to talk to Jackson about this thing that Mark did, which was pitch this negotiation. And then Simon said no, which I was like, okay. But then Simon went on to like, I felt like almost add another negotiation, which was like Blanche, and was like, should we consider that? And I was like, why did we go there? It was strange.
Simon was trying to keep his hands in, like, he was trying to please both sides. He'd realized that he'd screwed up with the other side he was going against, which is Lottie, Usher, and Cameron, and then tried to make it seem like, okay, well, this is what we're going, like, this is what they were trying to say, to not say an X bounty person. So no, I'm gonna stop because I'll get myself in trouble.
I mean, unfortunately, this forces Lottie into a weird position because she's like, I don't know what that was. Uh, and, you know, she's questioning if she should work with Simon moving forward.
Smart call.
I think at this point,
Mm.
yeah. But let's change over to the other tribe because, as we all know, someone from the other tribe goes home. And instantly, easy peasy, Faith and Mark say, we are voting out Tez, who is just sitting here alone in the VIP.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Sad.
was this the correct route to go? I'm curious to hear from you two. I thought that last episode was so disastrous for Tez that I almost wondered if they should spend time elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know they were kind of saying Rich is like the backup. And like I understood kind of Faith's and Keely's reasonings in the sense of like it is very clear that Richard may have more connections than we perceive. But yeah, it was very clear if it wasn't going to be Rich, it was going to be Tez. And like I did feel bad because it was like we'd seen how he had been treated over the last couple of episodes. So like I do feel for him.
Yeah. It's kind of rough because, like, what can he do?
Mm.
He really couldn't do anything. I don't know. I thought maybe he should be pitching Sally, if anything. At least to Mark. Try that.
When we get onto the slide, I'll talk about it. But I do agree.
His last move was supposed to be last episode. You know, I think when Lyndall was there, Tez just did not speak up. And then, you know, Richard also did not speak up. And they were so slow to try to do anything. That the only thing Tez could really do this episode, which he did not do, was, and again, we're all speaking from the experience of not playing the game. So, you know, we're just having fun. But
Yeah.
the thing that as a viewer, I wish that I saw Tez do was actually do what he said he would do in his confessional, which was blow stuff up. And he never blew anything up this episode, even though it seems like maybe he thought he did. But blow it up, expose the games. They're already worried about you. You've already kind of exposed the games. So that's what you do. It's just like go out in a blaze of glory. And
But, like, what was he going to say?
Mark, Faith, Keely, they're three. Caleb, Richard, Sally, you're on the bottom of their three. Mark doesn't want you in. Like, maybe does Tez know that? I feel like Tez knew that. We got to flip it. We got to flip it. And you know what? At least that would have been trying something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the question is, who would he have gone for? Because I don't think he could have gone for one of the girls because three wise women. And
Sally would have been good with Mark. Sally would have been great.
Yeah, this could have been the Mark vote. Yeah.
Then the question is, would Caleb
tie it? I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like if Tez went to Caleb, Rich, and Mark, and pushed Sally, that could have been something.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Thank you.
And if Mark even had an inkling that, you know, they want to vote for him, this would have been a perfect opportunity to grab all of those people and create a new core alliance.
Instead, it seems like Tez is just like asking people for advice as to what to do. And I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know what Tez was waiting for. I think, you know, obviously the people who were giving him advice, they didn't care enough about his game, right? Like Caleb, the two of them have been beefing. And then like Keely, I think was the other person that was like, go talk to Rich. I don't care. You do whatever.
Yeah, that was crazy too, actually.
Yeah.
Go talk to Rich? Are you kidding? That was mean.
Why was that mean?
Because like That's saying, like, just go talk to the other person on the bottom. Like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, what do I have to say? Like, go, that's basically what she's saying.
One slide ago, we all just basically said he needed to go to
No, well,
Rich.
yes, he did. But like the fact that she's saying that, I felt like was like she didn't want to talk to, I don't know. It
So
made
what you're
sense in my
saying is
head.
we can say it, but she can't.
No, no. She
Dig it out for you more.
like, yes, he needed to talk to Rich, but like on his own accord. Like he doesn't need Keely telling him that, like that was just like, I felt like a dig at him. Like, yeah, go talk to, go
Did,
talk to him. It's gonna be
did
you or
you
him
feel it
tonight.
was another get away from me?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I just want to say, I actually did like Caleb's advice as to what Tez should be doing to save himself. I thought it was actually good advice.
Wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
No,
Yeah.
I actually give Caleb credit. That was good advice.
And like Caleb didn't need to be that serious about it, which he probably wasn't even that serious about it. But like,
He kind of ate with that.
yeah, I was genuinely listening. I was like, all right, Caleb, all right.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I getting like game advice, like life advice from Caleb? But it was fun.
It's all right. Just wait till
So
tribal.
right. Well, here we go. So let's talk about this conversation with Tez decides that he's going to approach Mark, like you said, Ollie. But instead of doing what you said he should have done, again, it's this Tez does a good thing of being like, what do you gain from voting me out? In which Mark both tells the truth and also is like, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, which is nothing. I don't get anything. But at the same time, I don't think Mark cares. But again, does Tez even give a name here? Is it?
I think he pushes Richard.
Richard?
When he should have said Sally.
And he pushes Richard, and I can't remember if it's Tez that says it or if it's Mark that even openly says, okay, so us two, Keely and Faith, all vote Richard.
Yeah. And honestly, after watching Mark in Titans vs. Rebels and also here, I feel like I've come to learn what Mark's like, I don't really care, but let's end this conversation like tone is. I feel like this was it. He didn't care about this plan. It was always going to be Tez or Richard. Mostly Tez.
Yeah.
It is interesting though that I don't really understand why Tez was like the final majority on person, right? Like that's what they agreed on. It wasn't Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were so concerned about Richard's connections last episode and still this episode. And I don't really understand that whole thing. But Mark did make a promise to Simon that he would keep Richard safe, but I don't know how much that affected things. But let's go to our large tribal council where everyone is present and pretty standard stuff. Except the fact that we get out of nowhere a fight between Jackson and Caleb. I loved this.
It was so random.
It was fun. It was so fun, but Caleb was not doing himself any favors. He was like doubling down and then insulting them, and I'm like, I can't wait for you to like merge or tribe swap with them because I don't think they're gonna have any want to work with you. Because they even called him out, being like, "You wanted to get the attorneys out," and you just see all the attorneys go.
And Jackson kind of ate when he said that thing about. I thought also, when he said that thing about like basically reheating Harry's nachos just to make an impact. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, Jackson's wearing Eliza's clothes.
Wait, it was funny when Sally was like, I'm just wearing the purple sneakers because they look good with my outfit.
Yeah.
Which I was like, yeah. But he really had a problem with Caleb putting on a show. I'm assuming he also had a problem with Mark. Asha brought up the like, hey, that thing that you did with Richard's jacket and hat, like, was that a joke or like, what was that? And honestly, if I'm Mark and Caleb at this moment, I'm like, oh no. Like, what did I do? Maybe they're not feeling that way, but socially, it was a mistake, in my
Do you know
opinion.
what you do? You sit there and go, "It was a joke. I'm so sorry if it came across like we were being malicious. It was never our intent. We're so sorry." You don't double down and call people insensitive. That's just stupid.
I'm gonna make a slight edit to what you said. I'm so
Go for it.
sorry that I'm so sorry that it was malicious. You agree with
Yes.
them that that's what it was.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because that's what a real apology is. It's not, "I'm so sorry that you felt this way."
Yeah.
It's, "I'm so
Yeah.
sorry that I hurt you."
Yeah. And, like, the whole Mark and Richard, like, swapping things, like, it's kind of funny because like, they did plan it, like, they had a plan, they were doing
Mm.
that to get the other tribe to throw the challenge, and then they did it, and now they're just, like, mad at them for doing that, which is, like, kind of ironic, I feel like.
Mm.
Oh, I also why isn't Rich speaking?
No, I
Well,
think he
I feel like
did. Because
he
I
might have,
think
but I
didn't
also
they
feel like
No, I'm
You're right.
I'm pretty sure they did say, like, "Was it a joke?" And I think Richard did say, "Yeah, it was." I could be misremembering this so bad, but
No, I feel
Uh,
like Richard shouldn't be speaking though, you know, like, I feel like he should let them,
mm,
like, think they're being mean to him, you know?
yeah, but if that's the case, why not agree? Yes, it was mean. They're mean. They're mean people. Give me immunity, Simon. I
Maybe
don't
he
know.
felt awkward. It was kind of
mm.
awkward.
Sure. Maybe he didn't. To your point, Carol, maybe he like just if he does do that, then he's sort of drawing a line in the sand. I don't know. Rich, you're not
Mhm.
working with Mark and Keely and Faith. So I'm sorry. Maybe Mark at some point, but yeah. So that other thing happened that I sort of hinted at before, which was Simon. So they make the announcement, okay, we're gonna do a hero challenge. 2 people volunteer, make fire, and the losers go to tribal council. And Simon's idea here, I don't hate. I don't hate it because before the challenge, it makes sense. He is going to risk his own safety. Notice how I said before the challenge. He's going to risk
Mhm.
his own safety to give it to Richard so that he wins safety for which, by the way, I'm so confused as to how he ended up making fire. I'm so
Mm.
confused as to how everyone ended up making fire.
Oh my
But he
gosh.
wins immunity for the tribe. They leave Richard safe, and I think that the other members of his tribe would appreciate that because they all love Rich. So I didn't hate this.
Yeah.
I don't think I hated it, but it was Faith and Keely's reaction. And I feel like that would have been the reaction. Like, I mean, it was very clear that you had Faith and Keely very much adamant. And then you did have Cameron and Lottie being like, we can do whatever we want. I did notice that tension, which was so funny.
I
Um,
mean, yeah.
I feel like what it was is Simon was just like he just came across slightly non-committal to quite a lot of things. So it was kind of then that thing of like he looks more guilty than he probably is intending to be. So I feel like that's why I worried about him.
Okay.
Also, sorry, just on the hero thing, I completely forgot about AU versus the world and how they did this, and not once during the entire watch. And it wasn't until David said it, and I went, "Oh my god, they did that during AU versus the world. Why did my brain not think that's
That's
what's going to
right.
happen?"
He said they did it on All Stars, which they did a version of this on All
Yeah.
Stars, which was the
Mhm.
person who lost went home. But you're right. On AU versus the World, they did exactly this, which was the
Mhm.
hero challenge.
My brain did not think about it
Yeah.
until mentioned, and I was like, "Should have remembered."
So I mean, they do the scramble, and I like seeing the different perspectives, right? Like, are they actually going for immunity? Are they throwing it to get their target out? Like, what is going on? Do they want Simon to do it? Do they want Mark to do it? I would have been like, let's just draw rocks. Like at that point, especially
Mm.
because I don't understand how Simon did it.
It's just so weird because everyone's like, "We don't want Simon to do it, he's not gonna throw it." So why is no one else volunteering to do it? Why is no one stepping up and be like, "I'll do it. I'll do it." You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Yes.
Why are they just letting him do it if they don't want him to do it and they don't think he'll throw? Just someone else go up there and throw it.
Oh man.
But I did love the fact that both tribes wanted to throw it. That was so funny to me. Because I would have just
Yeah.
loved it, like the two people that got picked, just to stand there and look at David and be like, no.
Mark didn't want to throw it.
Mm.
You know what I wanted to see though? I wanted to see a version of like, remember Cook Islands, where I wanted to see that, but where both people were just trying to throw it, and they were just like,
Mm-hmm.
in Cook Islands, they just seriously couldn't get the fire started. But here, I would have loved to have seen that 2.0. I mean, eventually, again, Mark and Simon, where I'm just like, I don't understand how. And Cara, you're so right. No one volunteered to do it. So we get the two of them. I thought it was actually pretty exciting fire making challenge because at different points, I mean, they both had like a really strong flame going.
They did.
And the funny part was both of them were doing stuff that someone in AU vs. the World did. Like Mark was doing Sarah's technique and Simon was doing Sarie's technique. Just wanted to throw that out there. Long live Sarah Talecki.
This was Simon's next mistake by not throwing this challenge.
Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
This was the worst thing that he could have done winning this challenge. I think he didn't want to throw it because he didn't want to get on Lottie's bad side when who cares at that point? Asha would have been out, and then who does she have, you know? They should have thrown this challenge and went to tribal.
Do we know that for a fact that that alliance was going to stick?
I think they would have, honestly. I think so.
I would not have been recording this then. I would not have wanted to see Asha go home.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was optimal for them to throw this challenge and go to tribal and see what would happen.
I gotta say, I had to ask the question just for a different perspective, but I agree with you that I actually do think that Asha would have been the one to go home if they lost this. And so, is what it is. We'll see why. Like hopefully in the next episode we get a little explanation as to. I'm sure they're going to question Simon about like, why he didn't throw it.
And even Lottie goes up to Richard and is like, he's supposed to be throwing this. If he doesn't, like, it's on him. Which
is funny because Lottie's not in Beauty and the Beast. So they wanted him to throw it.
Because they wanted to get Brooke out.
They
both wanted different people. Like, everyone wanted different people. I mean, it just would have been so good, this tribal.
But here's the thing.
Especially she plays the idol. Like, come on.
Simon didn't really expose his position then.
No. Well, that's why I think he wanted to win, because he didn't want to.
He wanted to have his cake and eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think it would have been beneficial if Asha went home, because Lottie then, like, where does she go from there,
Where does she go from there? But where do we go from here? Because Simon wins and all of a sudden is like, can I still give immunity to Rich? And production needed to shut that down.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I love Rich. This just screamed unfair.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know I said earlier, if Asha went home, I was going to yell at production for that. I yell at production for this, though, because that was so unfair. Because I don't see them giving the same grace to the other tribe. I feel like the other tribe wouldn't. Well, this is the thing. I feel like the other tribe wouldn't have felt like they could. So I do feel like Simon. Yeah.
I don't know if maybe they wouldn't have thought of it.
I just don't. Either way, I just don't think it was right of Simon to do it. Another mistake. But
I don't blame Simon one bit.
I don't think it. No, I actually think this was like good for Simon and kind of like redeemed him like a little bit. I just don't think it makes sense that he's allowed to give away his immunity necklace after already are leaving tribal. Like they won, they're gone. Like this just shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. No, he protected Rich, which I think his other tribe will appreciate. It's kind of like a little band-aid over the wound of not throwing the challenge.
Yeah.
But he protects Rich. Again, I do not agree that this should have happened. Let's talk about Faith and Kaylee here, because we did speak about it before where they were both interjecting like, you don't have to, you don't have to, you don't have to. That was as soon as they were doing that, that was I'm glad Cameron was like, it looks like we have to. Like,
Yeah, they were making it look so suspicious.
which was that their goal? Because Tez was the majority vote, right? So what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it really did flip to Rich.
I think it's one of those. They were always going to go for Tez, but I think Simon doing it also, for them, it's like, well, we've agreed to this plan that we're going to keep Rich safe. You then doing this makes it seem like you don't trust us with that plan. But I did love Cameron when he was like, we can do whatever we want, because like I will say, Faith and Keely were very much like, no, you can't. Don't do that. I don't think you should do that. And it was like, oh, girl, don't be speaking to me like that.
This is like another social subtract.
Faux pas.
I think that I don't think that if Faith and Cameron link up on in the merge, I don't think they're working together, and I don't think the other, I don't know the tribe names anymore. Baron, Bounty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baron is Simon's side.
I don't
Bounty
think
is
Baron
Faith's
wants
side.
to work with Keely or Faith, especially
Or
after this.
Caleb.
Or Caleb.
No.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do you know who's got a good thing going here?
Sally.
Yeah.
Sally's just there like, I just wanted to wear
So
purple
true.
shoes. I just wanted to wear purple shoes, okay?
They're gonna have a
Sally.
tough time coming into merge.
Not Sally.
Not
Which
Sally.
I can't wait. But we have a tribal council to talk about, because finally, after all of that other stuff, we're back with this gang, you know, this trio of not trio, this little group of people that are always at tribal council. Kind of a trio, Keely, Mark, and Faith, but Tez knows what's coming and tries one last time. By the way, sorry, going back a little bit, before, while they were doing the big group tribal council questions, and David asked Tez, like, oh, is it chaos tonight? And Tez's response was, you always ask me the tough questions, David. I was like, what?
Aw.
Sorry, it was Survivor 101. Sorry. I'm sorry, Tez. It was funny. Anyway, Tez pulls Keely and Mark to the side and says, I can't go out this way, which, Tez, I'm so sorry. I know that stings. But no one's entitled to going out in a way that they hope to, or in a way that, they would want it to. It's just where things fell.
No, he shouldn't have gone out this way.
You care.
I agree.
But also, he shouldn't. I mean, there was really not much he could do at this point. But I didn't understand why he also pulled Keely over,
Yeah.
and not just like Mark.
I think he felt comfortable with Keely too. Out between her or Faith, absolutely,
yeah.
he felt more comfortable with Keely. I would have maybe invited Sally over there as well.
Yeah, it seemed like Sally and him kind of had a good relationship that we didn't see at all.
Right? But no, I thought that Sally treated Tez with some more respect than the other people that she's aligned with. But Tez, I'm sorry, but you gotta go.
No. This might be the worst one.
And you know what? It makes sense.
No.
Because the editors were doing Tez dirty this season, and what last thing to do than do this shot?
How dirty? How dirty could they
So
possibly have made Tez's edit? Because I gotta say, Tez did stuff and messed up. Tez messed up a lot, and I think gave the editors a lot to choose from. So I do kind of, I'm like, I don't think Tez showed much awareness of what the positioning was, especially, or like what his strategy was with the last tribal council into this one. He seemed to just kind of be throwing different strategies at the wall without confidently throwing out a name with like a goal of getting someone out. So
Yeah.
Ollie, I disagree a little bit. I think that the editors did what they do, and they had a lot to play with.
Matthew, I can't wait for you and Tez to come back for Australian All Stars Rivals. Can't wait for your interview with him either.
You think I'm an
Yeah,
all-star?
that's gonna
Fans
be
for
a
favorites?
of you.
No, Tez would vote you out.
Rivals. Tez, I'll see you on the battlefield. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to talk to Tez. But yeah.
You know what else? I think this game would have been completely different if Lyndall and Tez swapped starting tribes. And I think that's what needed to happen.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
To
Because
balance
you
things
s-
out, we had to switch up 2 more people, but yes.
Because we
Mm.
did
But
see
yeah.
Lottie and Asha really champion Tez. And I think that was because of Blanche, because I think obviously Blanche was really close with him from what we saw. And she probably championed Tez too, Asha and Cameron and that lot.
Listen, I will absolutely agree that I think the swap, Tez landed on a really unfortunate tribe.
He did.
But I did also think that the possibility was there for him to move forward if he just knew what to do with certain pieces that fell into his lap or that he discovered. Because I think that he was so close to doing things, but just couldn't convince himself to or get others involved or whatever. And I do, find that unfortunate. Like I said in our last episode, I completely could see myself playing this way, especially like years
Yeah.
ago. So don't blame him, but it's unfortunate. Change this close up.
And I lose another member of my draft team.
And you lose another member. Is that 4?
4. I have 2 left. Simon and Keely.
Cara, how does this happen to you?
I know.
What?
Every time.
Let's talk about this. What do you look for in your players?
I don't know. I think I need a new strategy or something.
Well, I hope the Survivor 50 draft goes better for you.
Hey, all my people are still in going into week 3. That hasn't happened in a while.
Years. So, all right, listen. We also do cover Survivor 50. So if you're watching that, make sure you subscribe because we do a lot of shows about Survivor 50. But it is time for us to talk about AU once again in our player of the episode. Lots to choose from. I know mine.
You go first then.
Yeah.
I am going to pick Asha because I think that she's doing a great job. I'm basically going to restate what we've already said about Asha in our last video, in this video. I like how Asha is playing the game, and I like that she's not afraid to ask questions to the point where she kind of caught Simon off guard a little bit, and was able to. We'll see if like the story is we could tell that Simon was lying, whatever. But I think that she's great. I think that the alliance that she built might get blindsided, but I like all of them together. I think they're fantastic, and I would like to see them go far. Again, especially her relationship with Cameron and Blanche. Oh my God, so much fun. So yeah, Asha.
Cara?
Okay. This one's kind of tough for me because I don't think this person is my player. Well, I don't know. At the end, really not my player of the episode, but like in the beginning more. I guess that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm going with Jackson because I like the Beauty and the Beast alliance. I like that he came up with this plan. He forms this alliance that everyone's like in on it. I really appreciate that. I like how he's kind of bouncing back from, kind of being on the bottom, and now he has this group and they had a solid plan going into this. So yeah.
Another person who's not afraid of confrontation.
Yeah.
And another person on my draft. To be fair, you both picked the 2 people that I was tossing between.
Oh,
So
wow.
Break the
that's quite
tie.
funny. I know, literally. because I agree with Cara. I do feel like Jackson had a strong start. I feel like it's kind of like Jackson had a strong start, and then kind of Tribal was a bit iffy. And then it's like, obviously, I was worried for Asha, but then she kind of did do, like, she was doing some really good kind of clocking and understanding when things don't add up. I
Mhm.
feel like I am going to go with Asha, though, just because I don't feel like, again, the reason they want to go for Asha is because she's such a big threat, like because she is doing such a great job. And then I think her able to clock exactly what Simon and Jackson did and then continue to be aware of it, basically catch Simon in a lie, and then now know, okay, have her guard up and see what's happening. Like, yeah, I'm going to give it to Asha.
I think that's fair.
Is that 2 episodes in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right. Because yeah.
Ooh.
I know I picked Blanche last time, but that sort of fell into the same court. So listen, as a reminder, none of us, the 3 of us, have never played this game. We don't know what it's like. We
Mhm.
just love treating this. It's fun. And we all know you do the same stuff. So as a reminder, we talk about the game, we talk about people's strategy. It's never about the person, always about their gameplay. So with that,
Send the players love.
send the
Yes,
players.
be kind.
Even if you don't send them love, just be kind. I think that's what's the
Yeah,
important thing.
be
With
kind.
that,
I was just going to say, you can disagree, but don't disrespect them.
Mhm.
with that, thank you so much for joining us for this recap of episode 9. And we will see you back here next week for episode 10.